Welcome to That Bible Guy. I have a very important question for us today that we've no doubt heard over the years. Has the Bible been changed? So has the Bible been changed? What we need to do first of all in answering this question is establish what do you mean by changed? By who? When was it changed? How did they go about that? And what's the evidence for that? How did they interrupt the manuscript evidences that we have today? Dead Sea Scrolls dated from before 100 BC, which correspond exactly with the Old Testament manuscripts we have, and the same for the New Testament. So how did someone do that? How did they go about that, and where is your evidence for that? We simply must establish this first of all before we go on to deal with whatever they mean. So it's thrown out so easily, you'll hear it on the street all the time, but what do you actually mean by that? And where is the evidence for that? If you can show me, then let's discuss it. I'm going to deal with the two common arguments that I would hear most of all that are behind that statement, the Bible's been changed. First one, been changed by the Catholic Church. Again, you've got to ask a lot of questions. Who, when, where, why? Do we have that evidence for that? But let's just put it this way. It's factually incorrect to say that the Catholic Church had any responsibility or changing, any ability to change the books of the Bible as we know it, or the wordings of the scriptures as we read them. What people often mean by saying that is they're referring to Constantine, who was converted to Christianity in AD 312. Was a man of battle, but he converted to Christianity and he held the Council of Nicea in AD 323. I think it was July the 4th. And they feel that that's the time that the books were changed. Well, it's factually incorrect. Look up the information on the Council of Nicea and you'll see that they met mainly because of Arianism, the belief that Jesus was a lesser God than God himself. And they met in an actual reality to deal with the Trinity and to deal with who is Jesus was the predominant reasons that they met and rejected Arianism, which was a good thing for all of us. They may have discussed some apocryphal books, but no book was removed or added to the canon of the Bible. At this point, the canon was well established, and I'll do a separate video on the canon, but we have documents that confirm the canon in AD 170, the Muratorian fragment. The second thing that people might say to say the Bible's been changed is that it's been changed in the sense that they mean translations. So we have so many different translations of the Bible, it's been changed and revised so many times, that how can we know what we read today is what was actually written? Why so many? Now I'm going to put up an article on this that gives a lot of detail on the translations, when they come in and why they were changed, and that's the important bit. The important bit was, why do we have a new translation? Why another one? Why another one? Well, they were needed due to the unearthing of older, more reliable manuscripts that go back to the original language and are dated as being older manuscripts, therefore deemed more closer to the original. That we've found many of these manuscripts have been unearthed in archaeological discoveries that has meant that we've needed to revise the translation that we had. King James came out in 1811, and it came out given as details that were then changed because of discoveries that were made. Should have said 1611 for the King James Version. But we have the discovery, for an example, discovery of the Sinaitic and the Vatican manuscripts were discovered in the early 1800s. And these are some of the oldest complete New Testament manuscripts that we have, dated around AD 200 to 300. 350, and that meant that the Westcott and the Hort had come out with a new and original Greek manuscripts and also gave us a revised version in 1881. So the simple point is, revisions were needed because we found older, more reliable manuscripts. So in summary, when someone says the Bible's been changed, what do you mean? Who, when, where, why? Where's the evidence for that? Not necessarily skeptical, just let me hear what you have to say. What do you mean by changed? The Catholic Church had no influence on the books of the Bible. Council of Nicea, Constantine, had no influence on the books of the Bible, although I'll do a separate video on the Apocrypha at another time. Apocrypha meaning hidden, deuterocanonical, which means secondary canon, so that's a separate topic to the books we have of the Bible, the 66 books we have today. Translation happened back when there was new, older, more manuscripts discovered in archaeological discoveries. The one point to make on this is the Bible is the most reliable book that we have because it's got more manuscript evidence than any other book of antiquity. It was written closer to the events than any book of antiquity, around 15 years. Jesus died in AD 30. We have Galatians dated about AD 45, 15-year gap. That's shorter than any other book. And it's been dated and looked at textually, criticized to be within 99.5% accuracy to the originals. So that's just some thoughts today. When they say the Bible's been changed, what do you mean by that? That's not factually correct, actually. Get some more of the details. We can clear this one up very, very easily. If you like this video today, please hit like. Please subscribe to That Bible Guy. Please share this out to benefit other people. And again, if you'd be interested in supporting the ministry, please check the link out on Patreon. Thanks so much for your support. Let's get his word out there.